With the release of The Predator, and we've added to this Predator franchise, I think it's time to go through and rank those movies worst to best. This is my ranking of all 6 Predator movies. How would you rank these movies worst to best? Can't wait to have this conversation with you in the comments. Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my ranking of all 6 Predator movies, worst to best. And I'm counting Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I don't know why I have trouble with the word Requiem. Requiem. AVP2. I don't know why I have trouble saying the name of that thing, but anyway, so I'm going to rank all of those movies worst to best, and I want to interact with you about this because I want to know, what is your ranking? How would you go through these 6 Predator movies and rank them, and which ones are your favorite, and where does the new one fall for you? If you saw that, how do you feel about that one? Is it good? Is it terrible? I've heard so many mixed reviews. Other people really liked it, like me. Other people really just did not like it for a myriad of really good reasons, so I'm just curious to know where you are with that. So let's talk about that in the comments. Here's my ranking. Number 6, AVP2. Now, this one is my least favorite of all movies involving the Predators because I just couldn't even get interested in this movie. I mean, how can you have a movie with such an interesting premise, right? You got the alien-predator hybrid, you got the ship crashing in the woods, you got the facehuggers coming out, you got a breakout of alien monsters in a small town, you got a predator coming down to try to contain the situation. I mean, how can you have a premise so interesting and have a movie so dull that I couldn't even be sucked into it? Seriously, this was when I was doing my Alien reviews with Cody Leach over on his channel, and I was watching the Alien movies for the first time, and so he and I reviewed this movie together on his channel as part of our whole going through the Alien franchise together. And one of the things I even said in that review is I had the hardest time just sitting there watching this movie. Like right now, that basic premise, it's all I remember. That is all I remember, other than scenes in the movie that are so dark you can barely see what's going on. What I mostly remember is watching this movie and surfing Facebook on my phone. Like it could not hold my attention. And I even went back to Cody Leach's in my review to kind of watch it so I could have some points to talk about in this video. And I didn't even have enough interest in that film to stick with that. So if you want to get more detailed thoughts from myself and Cody Leach, check out Cody Leach's channel and check out our review of AVP2. Number 5, Predator 2. I think in the franchise of these 4 Predator movies, Predator 2 would be my least favorite in there. But for me, this is kind of like an MCU thing, because, you know, even when I have an MCU movie that is my least favorite MCU movie, I hate that term, least favorite MCU movie, because I love all those movies. The Predator movies, to me, they're all entertaining, and they're all a lot of fun. And I came into this franchise brand new with fresh eyes like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago now. I just started watching them all for the very first time, and so kind of just diving in cold, it's been a lot of fun for me. And of course, there's things in Predator 2 that are a little too cheesy. It's funny because, like, Bill Paxton was one of those characters, like, he pops up and he's so cheesy, man. I just didn't like him at all. But then I found his character starting to grow on me, and then by the time he dies in that train incident, facing off with a predator, I was like, oh my gosh, his character's actually pretty cool. But, like, even now as I think about it, like, in those opening scenes with him, it's really, really irritating. I like overall the fact that they took it out of the jungle, they put it in Los Angeles, and so basically they took it out of an unfamiliar setting, put it in a familiar setting, instead of Predators versus these Greek gods like Arnold Schwarzenegger walking around with biceps that are larger than my head. You have Danny Glover, who's like your everyday guy. And so, like, yeah, a lot of that stuff I thought was really cool, and so it made it a tad bit more relatable, but it didn't have the same charisma that the first film had for me, and it didn't have the same kind of charisma some of the other ones did. So, like, I do like Predator 2. So just because it's, like, closer to the worst here at number 5, it doesn't mean, in my opinion, it's the worst movie. I do like it, but I don't really have a desire to own it, and I don't feel like I need to watch it again soon. Whereas, like, the first movie and other movies in this franchise, I could probably go back to pretty soon and just kind of, you know, enjoy it. Number 4. Predators. This was the 3rd movie in that Alien vs. Predator franchise, came out in 2010. When I was watching this movie, my first thought was, oh, it's like a high-budget sci-fi channel movie. And I love Sharknado. I love Lava Lantula. So sometimes those cheesy sci-fi channel movies I have a lot of fun with. And so for this to be a higher budget version of that, I was like, yeah, I'm game. I'm in. There were some pretty cheesy things in this. I mean, first off, Adrien Brody, gosh, the fact that he had to talk like this the entire time drove me freaking nuts. It just felt like he was trying to be a tough guy rather than acting out this movie. It just kind of felt like he's trying to fill the shoes of Arnold Schwarzenegger, since even though it's another planet, but we're putting it back in a jungle-like setting, so now we gotta have an Arnold Schwarzenegger-like character. I just felt like, whether his lines are cheesy or not, I don't know, maybe that's up for debate, but it's the way he delivers those lines that, to me, is very cheesy, because he's just trying to be a stereotypical tough guy. And then you got the girl in this who just so happens to know everything about the 1987 event in the jungle and stuff like that. So it's kind of convenient that the Predators happened to pick somebody that knew their history on Earth and picked her to plop her on this planet so she could deliver us some of that exposition. But that doesn't bother me like a ton because, well, I mean, come on. You gotta have somebody that kind of knows what's going on, move the story forward. I get it. Maybe they could have made that a little bit smoother in the story, but, you know, overall, it didn't bother me that much because, like, it was just really fun the way the movie opened with everybody falling out of the sky. Suddenly there's Danny Trejo. Oh my gosh, there's Morpheus from The Matrix, Lawrence Fishburne. And so, like, the way these characters just kept dropping, and it kind of added to this mystery to me. Like, okay, what is going on? And where are they? And, you know, I knew nothing about this movie going in, so at first, I didn't even know they were on another planet. So as they're trying to figure out where they are, it began to dawn on me they're on another planet, especially the little leaf compass they made that was spinning around in circles. So, like, it was kind of cool for me for that stuff to unfold, and I really enjoyed that. Because, again, I went into this completely cold, knowing nothing. And I think that kind of helped because I had no expectations, and I had no thoughts, and I had no, like, oh, this is what I want out of this movie. So it kind of helped my enjoyment level of it. So, I don't know. I liked Predators. I think it's a fun movie. It's definitely got its weaknesses and its problems, but overall pretty enjoyable. Number 3, The Predator. As time has passed and I've had time to think about this movie a little bit, I still think it's incredibly fun, and I stand by that. I mean, I feel like watching those other 3 for the first time kind of gave me realistic expectations for this movie. And I heard that there was some drama, and, you know, they reshot the entire third act and stuff like that, and so kind of having already been through that exhaustion with Justice League and all that interesting stuff, it's just like, okay, so my expectations weren't super high for The Predator. And so I honestly think when I walked in to see this, my expectations were right at the right spot because I really liked it. I think The Predator is a really good movie. I liked the comedy, and the reason I liked the comedy is because the cast of characters all together when they met on the bus, their chemistry and the comedy and stuff that is between them, I really liked. The whole plot of a hybrid predator that's got like human DNA in it, and the idea that, you know, the Earth is heating up and, you know, conflict and heat is what attracts them, so they realize we're an endangered species, so they want to move into the planet, but then there's the other normal predators from like the first Predator movie that suddenly want to help humanity. And, you know, I didn't have too much of a hard time with that because, like, when you watch Alien vs. Predator and you see Alexa Woods, like, bond with a Predator and become friends with Predator. You know, when you see the Predator and Danny Glover, like, how they have a mutual respect. When Danny Glover's on the ship alone and he kills the one Predator, and then all of a sudden all the other Predators that were there appear, and instead of killing Danny Glover, they give him a prize, a little award for, you know, being a great warrior and killing one of their warriors. So they got, like, this code of honor, and they're sportsmen hunting for sport for sure, and they're brutal, and there should be, like, a force field around the Earth that doesn't let them through.
I see a suit of armor around the world.
So the fact that a Predator was coming through to try to help humanity wasn't too much of a stretch for me because I've seen other movies where they show kind of at least a mutual respect for other humans, especially like the real warrior type humans. So it's one thing to have a mutual respect, it's another thing to try to give them a powerful suit to save mankind, which was a really weird ending to the movie, I gotta say. And that, I think that to me is the biggest negative, is the ending was just so weird. Number 2, Alien vs. Predator. Yes, I love the first Alien vs. Predator. I had a ton of fun with this one. I mean, yes, it's got its problems, but I don't care. The point is if I could watch a movie and have fun with it, then I'm not going to worry so much about the problems. It had a lot of things I personally like. I mean, the fact that there was a pyramid buried under the ice in Antarctica, to me, that's a really cool plot line, and I love really cool plot lines like that. I love the deepening of the lore between the Predators and the aliens, that they've been around for a long time, and that it was a combination of tribes of man and predator that built the pyramid, and then the horrible human sacrifices that they did so that the facehuggers can, like, you know, make other aliens and the people, and then the predators have prey to hunt. Like, that was really, it was interesting to dive into that lore and then to put everything in that setting. In a way, it goes against the predator setting because Antarctica is cold, and it's heat and combat that attracts them. So now I kind of understand that, and that's kind of different. Putting that aside, I like the setting of that ancient pyramid as they're trying to decipher hieroglyphs. They're trying to figure out what is this pyramid saying? What is this thing here for? I loved seeing aliens and predators fighting each other. That was just so freaking epic. And then you have Alexa Woods, man, or Alex Woods. Like, she was such an awesome character. She was so strong. I like the fact that one of the predators recognized her strength, and then they teamed up to take out aliens, and that was so cool. And then, like, she even gets marked as part of the tribe of the predators. And so, like, to me, that was incredibly awesome. So in spite of all of its imperfections and places where maybe it doesn't exactly line up with the lore, I just thought this is one of those fun movies where you could just turn your brain off and just enjoy the story for what it is, enjoy the action for what it is, and just have a lot of fun with it. And that's AVP for me. Number 1, Predator, 1987. Probably shouldn't be surprised to you if you've seen any of my other reviews for these movies or my theological analysis. Number 1, I just love Arnold Schwarzenegger 80s and 90s movies. So right there, that's going to give this movie a great big running head start for me. Like I said in my theological analysis, I love the cornball typical Arnold Schwarzenegger lines where he takes the knife and he throws it and it goes straight through the guy, pinning him to the wall, and Arnold Schwarzenegger goes, "Stick around." I love that kind of stuff, man. It's freaking hilarious. So the fact that that was even in the movie was awesome. I mean, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura, these massively huge bodybuilder guys, like the best of the best warriors, now going up against this warrior. Now, this movie has an unfair advantage over all the other movies in the fact this is our first time meeting the Predator. And for me, going into this franchise cold, it was really cool to see it that way because there's a lot of Predator lore I didn't know. I picked up some stuff from AVP because I saw those two movies before this one, but this one introduced me to stuff I didn't even know, and it was really cool to see that unfold and see kind of like this hunter seeking a worthy opponent, a great warrior, because, you know, it kind of helps them get stronger. And then, you know, this is their rite of passage, and they take the skulls of their victims and they wear them as badges of honor, which is equal parts disgusting and like hardcore. I mean, oh my gosh. So I had a lot of fun with that first Predator movie. And you know, that whole scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger is setting up the traps and he has a fire going, but that's what the predators see is the heat. Yeah, all of that is just stupid. It is just stupid. But my gosh, it's just fun. Who cares how stupid it is when it's just fun? Arnold Schwarzenegger should never have started a fire when you have these things that see heat. It should have been attracted to Schwarzenegger long before he finished any of his Home Alone traps. But he got his Home Alone traps finished, and it made for an epic ending of that film. So, like, I don't know. I love these movies with all their imperfections. They're a lot of fun. And that first one, it's just really hard to top. That one was just a really good, solid film. So what did you think of these Predator movies? Be sure to let me know in the comments and rank these movies worst to best. I want to see your ranking. I want to talk about your ranking with you, why you have your movies where they are on their list. I cannot wait to talk about the Predator movies with you. While you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian and hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for my next ranking video, theological analysis, movie review, or anything else that I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.